This is the third and deciding set. Winner advances to the round of 32. Loser is out. As we take a look at Gilja's base here in the upper right corner over at 1 o'clock. And opposite him, down in the bottom left, his opponent, jookTojung.
jookTojung.
There's the official word. All right, so we go to Xel'Naga Caverns. Let's talk about advantages. You said before that this should favor Terran.
Yeah, it's not as big of an advantage as you'd expect on a map like Lost Temple or on something like Steps of War, but the natural is very wide open and hard to defend, so that gives Terran a big advantage in terms of early harassment. And if you can get to the mid-game, it's very easy for Terran to just take that gold base and defend the middle, use the narrowness of the map to really cut off a lot of Zerg's movement options and just kind of strangle them out slowly. So it's not unwinnable for Zerg, but it is definitely a Terran advantage. So we'll see how that plays out.
Well, Gilja is the Terran here. Supply first and heading over probably to his choke point where he's going to set up his barracks. Indeed he does. Now, can we expect a set one build order from both these? Well, I guess not going to be the case, actually. Funny how I asked right at that moment. But it does not appear that we're going to see a hatchery first from jookTojung. Perhaps he knows exactly what you're talking about there as for the natural expansion and is going to wait on it. Perhaps show some early aggression instead.
Yeah, the 5 Roach Rush or something equivalent is definitely a possibility here. Hellions are a very popular opening. In fact, I'd expect Gilja to do Reactor Hellion again. And if you just make 5 Roaches, take your drones off gas, and expand behind that, it's a very strong build in some situations. It forces Terran to defend instead of putting pressure on you, and it allows you to get your economy up without overcommitting to an attack. So I'd like to see that from him here. I don't think an expansion is a good idea.
All right. Well, it appears that he is listening. Well, of course, he's not actually listening. He's in a booth, a soundproof booth. And here we have the SCV scouting out, taking a look at everything that's going on. He sees the spawning pool, does not see a hatchery yet. So a little bit of information for Gilja and ditto here for jookTojung, who spots what's going on in the base of Gilja before being chased away and seeing the factory complete the wall in.
And jookTojung has started Zergling speed. This means it looks like he's going to be doing the same opening he did last game. He took drones off gas, so he's just going to expand behind Speedlings again. I don't really like this opening on here. I feel it's very vulnerable to Hellion harass.
Well, that is a peek into the future as to what we might see. Here is the expansion being started on by jookTojung. SCV being chased down, should be taken out quickly before he gives up any more information as to which direction he's going to go with his build order.
And that looks like a reactor, so it will be Reactor Hellions.
Hellion harassment coming up. We saw that in the previous set, which was won by Gilja. Pair of Marines heading out to take a peek around.
Is that a command center?
And I believe so.
Yes, it
is indeed.
So far, this is the same. Oh, and quick barracks. He could be doing a similar build to last time. That quick tank marine push after the Hellion harass. Because so far, I think it's identical openings. And if that worked on Metalopolis, it'll be much stronger here because the rush distance is a lot shorter. So this could be very dangerous for jookTojung if he doesn't have an answer to that.
Queen heading out to help defend. And on that note, 2 Hellions coming out. Remember, last time, Gilja waited till he had 4. This time, coming out with the 2. And the Queen, doing the best he can to defend, does not want to let him go up that rampway. That would be disastrous.
Yep.
And successfully defends that.
Going out with the first 2 Hellions, even though he didn't do damage, he forced an extra 8 Speedlings early on, which is really a big hit on Marauder. That's a strange decision. But as I was saying, it's 4 less drones that Zerg has at this point, which is really a huge hit to your economy at this point. So even though he didn't kill anything, it was successful harass, especially since he's expanding behind it.
jookTojung does get his natural up, but as you mentioned, one victory for Gilja in slowing down the macro game of jookTojung.
I think the first set kind of upset Gilja a bit. That bunker there is unnecessary, but I think he's worried about speedlings again.
He's going to move his command center out to his natural. Zerglings moving around, taking a peek.
He started his Spire again.
And so far, not too terribly different from the set before.
Yeah, but with those Marauders, it's unlikely that he's going to go for the same kind of timing push he did last game. So jookTojung is probably safe. He should be able to get up to his Mutalisks without dying, and so we'll probably head into a normal game from there.
Spire about half complete as these Hellions take a peek. Both players playing somewhat defensively for this time being.
Yeah, Gilja is being very defensive. He even brings down his factory to make a partial building wall in his natural. And jookTojung is making a pretty normal amount of speedlings. A very standard play from Gilja, or from jookTojung off the speedling opening so far.
Medevac in place as well. The scan taking a look at the main, looking for the Spire, but the Spire actually off in the distance. I don't know if he's going to have spotted that.
I think he just barely missed it, but he knows the timing anyway. He's coming out right. Actually, he might be a little bit too late. The Mutas are already on the way.
Hellions on their way as the creep expands out. And here comes the timing push from Gilja. Medevac joining in to help out.
This is
4 Hellions.
very dangerous timing here. He shouldn't engage like that. He has to be very careful about the way the Zerglings come in because the Hellions will roast him if there's the wrong angle.
And he doesn't want to get too far into that creep. I don't know if this is going to be wise. Actually, that does force the Mutalisks to back off, and Gilja is going to take down this expansion by the looks of it.
I think he got every drone there. This is pretty much over. jookTojung is dead.
So Gilja takes down the expansion, and so much early with that Hellion harassment. And although he does take out all the units, it was a beautiful timing in terms of Gilja's push just before the extra units from jookTojung came out. Now the question is there anything that jookTojung can do to counter what was just done to him?
Yeah, at this point, Gilja's pretty well defended. That was a really nice build from Gilja. That was literally split-second timing. If he had come any later at all, jookTojung would have defended easily. But as is, he's in a very commanding position right now. I don't see him losing this.
And unless jookTojung has some kind of a magic trick up his sleeve, something that's going to wow us, it certainly is not looking too bright for him. A lot of SCVs here that he'd like to get his hands on. And actually, he's going for the gas, it looks like. The refinery taking a lot of hits, unable to completely take it out, however. I almost wonder if he would have been better off taking out some more SCVs.
Well, he had a really well-positioned turret that covered everything, and at this point he can't afford to lose mutas, because off only one base, he just can't replenish them, so he has to be very careful. And it just wouldn't have been worth it to go after the SCVs. jookTojung's expanding again, so he's going to try and head for the macro game, but he's so far down in economy, it's going to be very difficult for him.
Well,
he's getting the Carapace upgrade for that's kind of a strange choice in this situation. Usually you'll want to rush to that if they're going tanks, because it gives Zerglings an extra hit against tanks. But Gilja is just going pure bionic with medevac support so far, so really he should be rushing to Banelings right now.
Well, he is getting something done here, taking out a supply depot or two, but here comes the counter from Gilja. And as you mentioned, nothing but bionic units and a whole lot of them.
Yeah, this could end it. If he doesn't have Banelings, I don't see him defending this. It'll be very, very difficult. That's a strong army.
He does have some Mutalisks back in place. Zerglings there as well. There's the scan to see what is available, and trying to come in from the backside.
That's excellent positioning by Gilja. He has the Marauders walling perfectly.
And this is going to be a whole lot of hurt. He's going to take out the hatchery, and when he does, this will probably be GG.
Yeah.
Oh boy, there goes the natural again. And simply, I can't see jookTojung taking too much coming back at all. There it is. GG. Gilja is going to advance to the round of 32. After dropping the first set, he comes back with 2 in a row, and he's got to be very pleased with himself.
Yeah, that was a very impressive build in the third game. He timed that out perfectly.
Well, a good effort here by this youngster, jookTojung, but unfortunately he falls to Gilja, who is going to advance to the round of 32 after a brilliantly fought game. Good game from him in sets 2 and 3, and certainly, that can be one of the harder things to do, is to lose the first set. Your back is against the wall, so to say. You know that you have to win or you're out. And with that pressure to be able to pull off what he did, he's got to be very pleased with his effort.
Oh, yeah,
here.
that takes incredible mental stability to lose a game in a best of 3, have the series on the line, and come back and win 2 great games like that. It was very impressive.
And, of course, also on a map, going back to set number 2, that is, on a map that wasn't necessarily favored to him. It was a map that jookTojung said that he preferred, and that was probably the turning point of this entire match, was going back to set 2.
Yeah, that's another thing, because you go in, that's basically the best situation as there can get Versatarian in StarCraft 2, and you go in that situation, your favorite map, your best matchup, and you lose. That really breaks you, and it's very hard to go into the third set from that situation, especially because you had the momentum and then you lost it, which just makes it 1,000 times worse.
If you look at this match, because, like we said, jookTojung, after taking set number 1, he's going into his favorite map. Do you look at this match that we saw today as a game that Gilja won, or would you say that this was a match that jookTojung lost?
Gilja definitely won it. He had 2 very well-prepared builds. I've never seen someone make a timing rush like that work on Metalopolis. It's just so long that you usually can't do that, but he had it right down to the second. He executed it very well.
All right, well, that is going to wrap up our first match of the day. Of course, we've got some more to come, so just stay tuned.